Hi y'all, it's me. I'm here with a tutorial for you. It has been much requested on the video of this, which I'm about to show you. I got a special request from Lily. Hi Lily. She begged me pretty please with sugar on top. So here it is. It's going to be a little bit long, but you know, I want to be able to show you the whole process. I've tried to pre-plan for this, so hopefully it goes quicker than I'm expecting. This original concept was from Carlene, Pink Scrapper 99. I was visiting her and she showed me, or she had one there, and I asked her if I could recreate it and she said yes. So anyhow, that's the long and short of it. I'll link the video to the one I created for Candy down below, and let me just show you how this works. And this was just a protocol, so it's not finished or anything, it's just a protocol. So it has a tag right here in that pocket, and then it has a little tag in this pocket. This tab lifts up and you have a place for a photo there and one there. This drops down and you have a place for photos here, or journaling, of course. You flip it up and there's another spot for photos, another place for journaling or photos, and again there's another pocket right here. That completes the front part of this card mini. So then you open it up and you have a pocket for some tags. You have a pocket here with another tag in it. And then you have openings again on this side with another pocket, tags, place for photo here, drops down, and places for photo journaling here. So as you can see, it's a lot of real estate in a small space. The profile is extremely low. And this is not something that you over embellish. You're only probably going to embellish the cover unless you're using flat things. Otherwise, it just won't stay closed. So I'm going to show you and give you tips first of what you need and the pieces you need to cut, and then we'll go on to putting one together. You need to use double-sided paper for this. Because of the way you fold, you will see both sides of the paper. You don't want to have it looking different. So as you see, this pattern paper that you're seeing here, this was the underside of that pattern paper here. So make sure you use double-sided paper, and you want it to have kind of some sturdiness to it. You know, it just helps. So, and you also need to be mindful of the direction of the design, because when you fold something, it can change the design from going right up to upside down. So be sure to keep that in mind when you're preparing your pieces. So let me show you what those pieces are that you need to cut. The first piece you're going to need to cut is 12 by 7. You're going to score it at 6 inches, and then you're going to score it at 1 inch on the left side, and you're only going to go to that score line at the 6-inch point. I'll explain more about that when we get to that. That's the first piece you need, and you need just one. Now this piece will be your cover, so you want to make sure that you're picking the one you want for your cover and that it has an inside pattern as well. With that same piece, because this is part of your cover as well, you're going to cut another piece that's going to measure 6.5 by 7 inches. You're going to score it a 1/2 inch on the left at this 7-inch length, and you're going to score it 1 inch from the top just to that score line right here. That was the same you did on the other piece, and I'll explain this part later. You need just one of those. Now that will attach to be part of your cover. It's going to go here. So you want to make sure that the pattern is consistent on the back. The next piece you'll need will be 2 of these. You're going to need to cut them at 6.5 by 2.5. You need 2, and you're going to score it at 1/4 inch and 6.25 inches. That's this mark and this mark. You also need to cut 2 border strips. These can be punched out from a punch if you want. I've gone ahead and attached mine for a further step, which I'll explain later. And these border strips you will need 2 at 6 inches. Next, you're going to need a piece that measures 5 by 4.5 inches. You're going to score it at 1/4 inch on 3 sides. 1, 2, 3. This will become a pocket. The next thing you're going to need is this piece, which is 10 by 5 1/4, and you're going to score it at 5 inches. And I would suggest going back when you're cutting your pattern paper to see where these pieces go so that you understand how the direction of your pattern needs to go. The next piece you're going to need is 2 of these. These are going to be 5 3/4 by 4 1/2, and you're going to score it at 1/4 inch on 3 sides, just like we did the other one. This is just another pocket, but it's larger. 2 more pieces you need to cut, and then we'll be moving on. This one you need to cut is 8 1/2 by 5. You're going to score it at 1/4 inch and 4 3/4. 1/4 inch, 4 3/4. The last piece you need to cut is this one here, and this is going to be cut at 10 inches by 5 3/4 inches, and you're going to cut this in half. But I would suggest to hold off on the cutting until we get to that portion in completing the album. Now for the materials you're going to need, aside from a way to score, a scoreboard or other, you'll need that. You need some form of adhesive, whether it be a tape gun, rolled tape, or quick dry. I use a combination of the both because you'll see why as we progress. You're going to need obviously a pair of scissors, bone folder, or something else you can use to fold with, a ruler, some kind of a punch because you will need a tab, and you can cut that out of anything. It doesn't have to be this one. Some kind of corner rounder if you choose to corner round your book. Your border punch, which is to cut those 2 6-inch strips that I showed you earlier. And if you choose a magnet to hold the book closed, and I will show you once we put it together when and where that will be inserted. So that's what you need so far. Now if I were you, I'd stop the video, kind of go back and look at the way the book is constructed to figure out the sheets. I know that's going to be kind of hard because I would try to make it first in a solid color cardstock just to get the hang of it, and then I would switch to the pattern paper. If I were you, that's what I would do. So let's get started. I am going to go ahead and we're going to construct the cover. So I'm going to be starting with this piece here. I've already gone ahead and I've scored my paper, which you can't see because it's very hard to see on this, but maybe. And I've gone ahead and I've added some sticky strip to that 1-inch score line above, and I'll show you what we're going to do here. We're going to basically take our scissors and we're going to be cutting that 1-inch score line, and I hope I can see this because it's really hard to see the score mark even for me, and I'm sitting in front of it. So you're going to cut that all the way to that center mark there and stop. You're not cutting it off, so don't go ahead and cut it off. Stop there. So now you're going to go ahead and fold over your piece and score it where the score line was. You're going to score that down. You want to make sure to use your bone folders because it's really important to get crisp, clean lines when doing this. And also I'm going to fold that one over as well, just to make sure you keep your edges straight, and I'm going to use my bone folder there to just crease that really well. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to bring over the other piece that measures 6.5 by 7, and we are going to put the tape on the 1/2-inch mark here, and also up here on that 1-inch part that you scored off that I mentioned earlier, and we're going to cut it just like we did the other, right on that score line. And you could do this on your trimmer if you feel so inclined. I just do it with scissors. It's just easier for me. And you're going to go right up to that score line and stop. Again, you're going to go ahead and fold those areas where your score lines were. Make sure the creases are nice and sturdy. Now, we're going to be putting this together, so I would suggest first removing the tape here and adding it there. So I will do that now. If I can get my tape to cooperate. You know how sticky tape is, it's fussy. You just want to make sure that this sits very nicely in that edge there. I'm going to do it as best I can here, up in the air, so that you can kind of see what's going on. Okay, and then you're going to press that down, just like that. I'm going to turn it back this way, and now you're going to remove the sticky strip that you've placed on these 1-inch marks up here. And I will remove this side as well, if I can. It doesn't want to cooperate, but it's okay. I don't want to refilm this because I'm going to have to cut everything out again. So bear with any boo-boos. You're going to take the right one and press it down, making sure, whoopsie, just don't do what I do. Just do what I say. Make sure you keep it lined up to the top here, very straight on the top edge. Press that down, and you're going to flip this one over and make sure it's top on there very nicely as well. So that becomes the top of your mini card. Next, if you want to, and this is only optional, you can take your corner rounder. I'm going to use it on the 1/2-inch side, and I want to round my corners. It's just a personal preference, and I have to close that up to do that. Just like that. Probably have to do the same here. And now I've got my corners rounded, as in the original one here. Okay, the next thing we're going to jump to is we're going to include the side pockets. And for that, we need these pieces that we cut right here. I've already gone ahead and pre-placed my border on. I just glued it on the back. And I am going to use wet glue for this because I personally think on pockets we need to use wet glue. So that the tags or whatever we put inside do not stick. I am folding my score lines. Again, use your bone folders for this. Make sure you get a nice crisp fold there. You're going to do that for the both pieces because you're going to be putting one on the left and one on the right of this card here. Sorry, I'm off camera. I'm just bone folding. Okay. We're going to take the glue, place it on the side tabs of these pieces that we just created. Just a line also on this side and across the bottom edge here. Just like that. Doesn't need to be a lot. I mean, it's just paper, so. And now we're going to take that and make sure it's flush to the left here and that the border hangs where we want it at the bottom. And we're going to press that down just like that. Hold on to it for 1 minute just to make sure you get a nice good adhesion. And then we're going to do the same with the other piece. Across there, across the bottom, and place it on the side on the right. Keeping it all the way to the right, make sure it's flush. You don't want to have an issue with it in the creases, so make sure you get it right on that line there. Hold it down. That creates the pocket portion of this particular card. Now we're going to take the piece that is, just dropped one on the floor. This one measures 10 by 5 1/4, scored at 5. And now you can see what I mean about direction. This is an alphabet, so if I didn't put it the right way, it could go drastically wrong. You could see it upside down. So we're basically going to crease this at the 5-inch mark, do our bone folder, which I've already done. I've placed tape on the back of mine. You can, however, choose to do just the 3 edges and make it a place for another tag if you choose to do that. I don't particularly want to do that because, as I said, the You don't want this to get too bulky. Oops, my tape popped off there. So I'm going to go ahead and peel these off. And you can do this with wet glue. You don't need the tape. It's just what I'm using, but use what you want. And this one's going to go glued down right here. And it can be as high up as you want. I kind of like to line it up with the bottom pockets right here. So just kind of lay that down there. And now you have this piece. You could have rounded these corners if you chose to do so ahead of time. I chose not to. You can though. Nothing says you can't. So now we've completed the innards of this. You have your place for your tags and your 2 photo mats. You're going to flip over the left side, right like that. And we're going to work on this piece here. And for that, we need the pocket that measures, sorry, nope, not that one. This is the one I dropped on the floor, so excuse me 1 second. Okay, we need the one that measures 5 by 4 1/4 and scored on the 3 sides. So we're going to go ahead and use our bone folder to make these edges go down, again being mindful of the direction of your pattern. This will be an upright pocket, and actually I should have a circle punch with me, and I don't have one at the table, so I'm going to try to use this because I want a little notch in this pocket here. So I'll just use this tab punch since that's what I have at hand, which it looks kind of cute anyway. Again, we have these edges folded. Now I personally want to cut out the corner pieces here. They just get in the way and create bulk. So I'm going to cut this one out and this one, and you want to do that for all your pockets just because you don't want that extra bulk. Basically I just push the bottom one up and then I run glue just a tiny bit, excuse me, right there, and pinch pleat that corner. Just pinch it. Excuse me. And it won't probably stick, but just hold on to it anyway. It may, if it wants to cooperate. I know for filming it's not going to. But anyhow, that's basically what I do, and I just hold it till it's kind of caught. And like I said, this is taking a little longer because I'm on camera. So we'll just go ahead. Now we're going to take the glue and we're going to run it down this side, across the bottom, and on this side. This you're going to place in the center on this side here. Just like that. And hold that down just till it catches. Now you have a place for your tags. This collection I'm using, by the way, is called Twirly Girly by Chicken Andy. If you ever, Chicken Nitty, something like that. Chicken Nitty, I don't know how it's called, so it's something like that. I showed this collection before. Okay, we've completed that part. So now we're going to fold over the top, and now this is where you want to take your bone folder, and you want to kind of press down these edges here, just to get it to understand that you're trying to make it lay flat. Just do a few runs with your bone folder, and as you start adding to this, the weight of it will hold down what you have there. Okay, so we're going to set this aside for right now and work on the piece that goes on the front of the book, which is this piece here, this whole section here. So for that, we're going to need the piece that is measuring, and I had to revise this in the beginning of the video because I had the wrong measurement. I realized it when I was putting this together. It should have been 11 by 5 3/4, not 10. And you should cut it at the 6-inch mark. I had 5, but you actually need to cut it at the 6-inch mark. So please do that. And then the 6-inch piece, which is going to be this one, you're going to score it at 5 inches. Hope that's clear. Let me show you mine and maybe it'll make sense. So this is the 11 by 5 3/4 piece. I cut it at the 6-inch mark, which is this piece here, and I scored that at 5. So you're left with a 6-inch piece and a 5-inch piece. The next thing you're needing is the piece that measures 8.5 by 5. That's been scored at 1/4 inch and 4 3/4 inches. You need to put double-sided tape on this piece on the front, the 1/4 inch, and also on the back. And I have it on the back. I just happened to have removed it by making a mistake earlier, so I had to fix that first. You're going to take the 5-inch piece, which is the piece without the score line, and you're going to set this piece on it so that the fold, the crease, is right at the top edge here. And since I've already removed my double adhesive there, I'm just going to bend that over just like that and make sure it's flush and lined up perfectly there, just like that. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to remove the tape from the backing of that 1/4 inch strip. And let's see if I can get that off here. It's so tiny and uncooperative because I'm filming, as we know. There we go. And then you're going to take that piece and you're going to lay it right up to, but not over, that crease that you've made earlier. And make sure those edges stay lined up. You want to keep your edges correct. That's that. So this piece then is folded up, and that's the piece that then can flip. See that? So that's how we take care of that. The next part we're going to work on is going to be this pocket. So you take one of the ones that you've designated for the interior, and I believe I chose this one here. And again, you're going to, this one is the one that measures 5 3/4 by 4.5, scored at 1/4 inch on 3 sides. I'm going to take my bone folder in just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and fold these edges down. Sorry for that little glitch, y'all. I just, you know, when you're filming and I don't really edit, so I'm going to have to do it on this one, even though I was hoping not to. But anyway, I'm removing those tiny little corners as I mentioned earlier. And again, you just want to fold that up. Make sure your creases are nice and good. And you're going to put the glue, again, to hold that little tab down right here on the corner, just a little bit. If my glue wants to come out now, I think it's going to be stubborn. So it's had a minute to sit and be stubborn. I'm going to pinch those down just to hold on to it for a minute, let it catch the grip. There we go. I don't have my circle punch, so I'm using this one again to create a notch right in here in the center of that pocket. And you place the glue on the 3 sides like we did previous pocket. This is why I don't do tutorials. I'm not that good at it. Okay, and this one's going to get glued down right here. This one is going to be the one that we want right there. So just hold that down for a minute and let's make sure it just adheres well. Again, I do my pockets with wet glue because I don't want anything sticky left on the inside for the tags to get caught in. So keep that in mind as well. Okay, now we have this pocket done. We have the flip done. Now we're going to come over here to the front and then we'll be finished. It's that quick. We're going to close this up. We're going to fold this down, and again, you want to make sure that you use your bone folder to re-crease these lines just to make sure that they're behaving the way you want them to. Just press it down really well. And then the last piece you should have left is this other pocket that we measured the 5 3/4 by 4.5, this one here. And we're going to go ahead and crease those lines, cut the corners, glue it down just like we did the other. Cut the notch. Actually, let me make sure I want to have the side down. I think I'm going to reverse this. I think I'm going to use the pink just because I'm just feeling that way today. The hearts are cute though. All right, cut that corner out, that corner out, do my notch. And actually, I know what, I was going to use the hearts. I wanted to use the pink one, but then I realized my score lines were in the wrong place and my design would have been upside down, so forget that. Okay, cut my notch right there. Then we're going to go ahead and do the gluing as we've done in the previous pockets. Oops, wrong one. There we go. Right there. Right there. Hold them for a second. Oops, I'm sorry. I'm a little off camera. Hold those down. And then we'll put the glue on the 3 sides. Just like that. Whoopsie. Then we'll bring our little book over. And we will place that down right there on the front, like so. Again, you want to make sure that it lines up to the edge over here on this piece, this one right here. Just want to make sure that piece is on the edge there. And the last piece you want to adhere down is optional, but I want it on mine, and it's this little tab right here. So I punched this one out earlier. I'm going to go ahead and glue that on. No rhyme or reason to this, really. You just glue this one as you see fit. So I'm going to go like that and press it right here in the middle. Hold it for a second. Okay. Now the last thing we got to do is adhere this to the front of the card, which would be the right side that has been flapped over. I want to make sure to leave a slot up here for an additional tag, so therefore I'm only going to be placing the glue on 3 sides here. And it really doesn't matter how far in you come because your tags aren't going to be that big unless you want it to be. So just keep that in mind that you are going to be placing a tag in there. And then basically you want to make sure that the tab doesn't hang off the edge there. Just keep it on and kind of center it a little bit there. And go ahead and press that down. Sorry for the length of this video. I just, you know, whenever you make a mini or anything on camera, it takes longer somehow than when you do it on your own. So there we go. I think that's about all we need. And I forgot to mention earlier about the magnet part. Only if you feel it necessary. I don't feel it necessary because I know that I don't bulk this up too much. But if you were going to use a magnet, you would have put it under this piece here and in here, kind of up towards the top, so those 2 pieces could connect when they close. Like I said, I don't put one because once you finally train this paper to go down and stay where you want it to, it should pretty much stay on its own. It's not that bulky, like I said. So let's take a walk through it. We have our pocket here for a, let me grab this really quickly. Oh, come on. We have our pocket here for a tag, right up in the top there. We have one here. We lift this piece up. We have a place for a photo. We have this for photo, drop down, photos, lift that up, pocket for a tag right here. Then we open the card up. We have place for tags here and here. Open it up here and drop this down. And if you had glued it on just the 3 edges, then you would have yet another place for a tag there, which I did not do. So basically that's it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And thank you for your patience with me while I was doing this. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Do what makes you happy. I'll see y'all next time. Bye for now.